Have you ever found yourself in a situation where your emotions took over? And before you knew it, you said or did something you regretted. Imagine for a moment that you could pause in those moments, just long enough to let your emotions settle and choose a response that comes from wisdom and peace. Wouldn't that be life-changing? In today's video, we're diving into an ancient yet incredibly relevant lesson from Gautama Buddha on how to control our emotions, not by suppressing them, but by mastering the art of not reacting. This simple yet powerful practice can transform how you approach challenges, relationships, and your own inner world. If you're ready to break free from the cycle of impulsive reactions and find true peace, stay with me until the end. Because by the end of this video, you'll understand how a simple shift in how you react can lead you to a more peaceful, fulfilling life. The King's Story, the Moment of Clarity. Let me start with a story that has stayed with me for years. One that Buddha shared to teach the power of not reacting. A king once visited a neighboring kingdom. During a grand feast, he discovered a fly floating in his soup. Disgusted, he immediately demanded a fresh bowl of soup. The king hosting him noticed this and gently said, "Your Majesty, it is not the fly that ruins your mood, but your reaction to it." The king, initially taken aback, realized the deep wisdom in those words. His reaction to the fly wasn't just about a small, insignificant event, it was about how he chose to react to it. From that moment on, the king practiced the art of pausing before reacting, and his life changed. He began to approach situations calmly, with clarity, and his decision-making improved dramatically. This story reminds us that while we cannot always control the circumstances of our lives, we always have the power to control how we respond to them. By practicing mindfulness and not reacting impulsively, we can change our entire experience of life. The struggle with emotions, a modern-day lesson. It's easy to feel that emotions are overwhelming, especially when we're caught up in the intensity of daily life. Our emotions, whether anger, frustration, or fear, can sometimes feel like forces we can't control. But Buddhism teaches us that emotions are not the enemy. What matters is how we relate to them. Think about a time when you were angry. Did you lash out? Say something you didn't mean? Or maybe even act out of frustration? We've all been there. But here's the thing, those emotions, while natural, don't have to control us. When we learn to not react impulsively, we gain power over our emotions. We stop being ruled by them and begin to choose our responses based on wisdom and clarity. And that shift can change everything. Michael's transformation, a personal example of change. Let me share a personal story. One that will probably resonate with you. Michael, a friend of mine, was a man ruled by his emotions. Whenever he was upset, he'd lash out, saying things that would hurt people, and then regretting it afterward. His relationships suffered because of his impulsive reactions. One day, Michael decided he'd had enough. He realized that his outbursts were doing more harm than good. So he sought to change. He started practicing mindfulness, taking a step back when anger arose, and focusing on breathing instead of reacting. At first, it was incredibly challenging. He would still feel the anger rising, but instead of acting on it, he chose to observe it, acknowledge it, and let it pass. Over time, something incredible happened. His emotional reactions began to lessen. He was able to stay calm, even in situations that used to trigger his anger. His relationships began to improve, and he felt a sense of peace that had eluded him before. This transformation didn't happen overnight, but Michael's journey shows us how powerful it can be to practice not reacting. By learning to control his emotions, he gained control over his life. He stopped being a slave to his feelings and instead became the master of his responses. The practice of mindfulness, a step-by-step guide. Now, you may be wondering, how can I apply this in my own life? The practice of mindfulness, at its core, is about slowing down and observing your emotions before you react. Here's how you can start. Pause before you react. The next time you feel an emotional surge, whether it's anger, frustration, or anxiety, pause. Take a deep breath. Give yourself just a few seconds to observe what's happening inside of you. In that pause, you create space between the emotion and your response. Acknowledge your emotions, instead of pushing the feeling away. Simply acknowledge it. I'm feeling angry, or I'm feeling stressed. Labeling the emotion helps you detach from it and observe it from a place of clarity. Reflect and respond thoughtfully after acknowledging your emotion. Ask yourself, what is the best response in this situation? Instead of reacting from a place of anger or fear, choose a response that aligns with your values and brings peace to the situation. Practice regularly, just like any skill. The art of not reacting requires practice. Start small, with situations that are less emotionally charged. Over time, you'll build the ability to pause and respond calmly in even the most difficult circumstances. The deep benefits of not reacting. So, what are the benefits of practicing not reacting? Let's break it down. Improved relationships, by taking a moment before reacting. We communicate more thoughtfully and avoid unnecessary conflict. This builds stronger, more peaceful relationships. Better decision-making, when emotions aren't driving our decisions. We can make clearer, more rational choices. We no longer act on impulse, but rather on wisdom. Inner peace, with the practice of not reacting. You will begin to experience a deep sense of inner calm, even in the most stressful situations. You'll feel more grounded and balanced. Personal growth, as you become more mindful and less reactive. You'll see yourself growing emotionally and spiritually. This process of transformation is deeply rewarding. My personal journey, a path to true peace. In my own life, I've learned that the greatest source of peace comes from within, not from changing external circumstances, but from changing how I react to them. I used to get caught up in every little thing, every comment, every disappointment. But as I began practicing mindfulness and the art of not reacting, I noticed a shift. I started to feel less stressed. I became more present with the people I love. And I noticed that I didn't feel the need to defend myself or argue over every little thing. Life became simpler, more peaceful. And as I continue this practice, I realize that true freedom comes when we stop reacting and start living mindfully. Conclusion: you have the power to control your emotions. The ultimate lesson here is simple yet profound. You have the power to control your emotions. The next time you find yourself in a situation where your emotions are triggered, remember that you can choose to pause, reflect, and respond with wisdom instead of reacting impulsively. By practicing the art of not reacting, you can transform your life. You can have more peace, better relationships, and greater emotional control. So, are you ready to take control of your emotions? Start practicing today, and see the changes unfold in your life. Thank you for joining me in this exploration of the power of not reacting. If you found this video helpful, please like, comment, and share with others who may benefit from this practice. Stay tuned for more teachings on sacred Buddha wisdom, where wisdom and mindfulness meet to help you live a life of true peace.